Hello everyone, my name is Addie. I'm a business owner and entrepreneur, and today I'm going to be talking about imposter syndrome. So, even if you're not a business owner, then you most likely experience imposter syndrome in some part of your life, some aspect of your life. So, basically, as far as I understand, it's like a simple definition of imposter syndrome is just, when you don't feel like adequate to do something. Like you feel like, everyone else is better at you than at the specific thing, and you feel like an imposter. You feel like, why am I here, basically. And it's a very common feeling among a lot of people, in entrepreneurship, but also just in general life, like in school, for example. Let's say you did a test, and everyone else did better on the test than you. Let's say the average score was a 90, but you failed the test. It might give you imposter syndrome because you're like, why am I in this class with all these people? They seem so much smarter than me. But the problem with that is there can be a lot of, variables that alter your score. Like, it could have just not been a good day, or this could have just been a subject that you don't know, too much about. But it doesn't mean that you're not smart or anything, or that you are an imposter. Everyone's not going to be good at everything. And some people have those strong suits, and that's just how it goes. But specifically for me, as far as my business goes, one of the biggest things that I experience imposter syndrome in is just like the business realm itself, I feel, because I am obviously a young entrepreneur. I'm a teenage entrepreneur, so I am really young in the field of entrepreneurship. Not like there's not entrepreneurs younger than me, but generally speaking, most people start entrepreneurship in like the 20s to 30s, somewhere around there. So as far as that goes, I'm pretty young, which means that I can frequently experience imposter syndrome, like why am I up here with all of these people that have so much more experience than me? But I found that a lot of times it can literally just be centered down to they have a lot more experience than me, not because, or like, they know a lot more about, business than me, not because they just happen to be, incredibly smarter than me, and, I'm just never going to be as good as them. But it's literally just because, a lot of times, because they are older than me. Therefore, they've had more experience. One of the best ways that you can learn stuff is through experience and through experiencing things. So since I'm pretty young, obviously, since I've started my business young, I'm experiencing a lot of business things at a young age, which is good, for business as I grow. So, since I started early, once I get to the age of, other people that are, that I try not to, but I can compare myself to right now, by the time I get to their age, I'd have a lot more experience under my belt. But, it's kind of hard to not compare yourself to people that are just completely different to you or than you. And, people always say that comparison is a thief of joy. So, just imposter syndrome itself, it's something that can be kind of hard to deal with, but one of the ways it helps me kind of like deal with it is knowing that I'm in the space for a reason. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a good entrepreneur, and I might make mistakes, but everybody does. Even talking to like millionaires, like the most famous people, like Mark Zuckerberg or something, he has most likely made really big mistakes. And looking back at those mistakes, he was probably thinking, that was not a smart thing to do, and I did that too. But that doesn't mean that I don't deserve to be in the space I am, because I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a young entrepreneur, and I've, paved the way for me to have my business. And I've worked hard for what I have, and I'm there for a reason. It's not like you're just gonna be somewhere without a reason to be there, Like, it's also common in like the field of nursing, because nursing is very, very difficult field. Let me know if any of you guys are either planning on going into nursing, or if you have something in the hospitality medical field like that. I know imposter syndrome is common because you're like, all these people, there's so many people around me, all these med students that know all this stuff about medicine, and it seems like I don't know anything. Like, sometimes depending on who you're around, you can convince yourself that you don't know anything. And obviously, it's important to understand that you don't know everything, and to be wise in that way. But you also don't want to tell yourself that you literally know nothing, because that's not true. Everybody knows something. So yeah, that is how I sort of deal with imposter syndrome feelings. They kind of come up and kind of go, but it's like it's natural for them to come. You just want to, when things like that come up, you want to sort of deal with them, because you don't want imposter syndrome to make you do something, either do something you regret or not do something and regret it. Like, for example, let's say I'm an artist and I make paintings. Let's say I was invited to a art gallery to showcase my artwork in a gallery, and I was feeling imposter syndrome. I was like, I am a young entrepreneur. I'm younger than all these people that make this art. I don't deserve to be there. And because of that, let's say because I felt that way, I declined the opportunity to go. And next thing you know, I missed out on a great opportunity to grow my work and to get myself more accustomed in the field, because as I am young, I am trying my best to gain more experience. So, just want to try your best to roll with the punches. I don't think that's the right thing phrase for this scenario, but you understand what I mean. Just kind of go with it. Try your best to give yourself positive feelings. Be your own, the best self motivator, and yeah, just keep up the good work. I'm very proud of all of you guys. So yeah, if you have any stories about your experiences with imposter syndrome, sorry, I was looking at my notes. If you have any stories about your experiences with imposter syndrome, if you're an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, or even if you're someone that started your business journey late, later, not late, never late, later, or if you're just someone that, I don't know, has experienced it in some way and you'd like to talk about it, or if you'd like to hear other people's stories, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. So thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.